Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
A yearning for the spotlight, Jennifer Love Hewitt sat in her cozy Los Angeles apartment, her fingers tapping anxiously against the arm of the sofa. It had been months since she had stepped away from her role as a paranormal investigator with S.P.E.C.T.R.A.L, and while she relished the freedom and the opportunity to focus on her health, there was a part of her that longed to return to the world of acting. She missed the thrill of stepping onto a film set, the rush of adrenaline as the cameras began to roll, the camaraderie of working with a talented cast and crew. But most of all, she missed the feeling of bringing a character to life, of losing herself in a role, and telling a story that resonated with audiences around the world. With a sigh, Jennifer reached for her laptop and began to browse through casting calls and audition notices, searching for the perfect opportunity to dip her toes back into the waters of Hollywood. She had been out of the game for a while, but she was determined to make a comeback, one audition at a time. And then she saw it, a casting call for a TV commercial for Good Boy dog food. The script called for an everyday mom, slightly sexy, and Jennifer knew she was perfect for the role. It was a chance to flex her acting muscles and prove to herself and the world that she still had what it took to succeed in the cutthroat world of show business. With a newfound sense of excitement and determination, Jennifer reached out to her agent and asked to be submitted for the audition. The thought of stepping back into the spotlight filled her with a sense of purpose and renewed energy, and she couldn't wait to see where this new opportunity would take her. The audition. The day of the audition arrived, and Jennifer found herself buzzing with nervous energy as she made her way to the casting studio. She had spent hours practicing her lines and perfecting her performance, determined to make a lasting impression on the casting directors and land the role of a lifetime. As she entered the studio, Jennifer was greeted by a room filled with other actresses, all vying for the same role. Some looked nervous, others excited, but all shared the same sense of determination that Jennifer herself felt. Taking a deep breath, Jennifer approached the sign-in desk and gave her name to the receptionist. She could feel the butterflies fluttering in her stomach as she waited for her name to be called, her heart pounding in her chest. Finally, it was her turn to audition. With a confident stride, Jennifer stepped into the makeshift set and was greeted by a golden retriever sitting obediently in front of a bowl of Good Boy dog food. "All right, Jennifer, whenever you're ready," the director called out, his voice tinged with excitement. With a smile, Jennifer launched into her audition. She delivered her lines with warmth and sincerity, channeling her inner mom next door, while adding a subtle hint of sexiness to the performance. But as she reached for the prop can of Good Boy dog food, an idea struck her, a way to set herself apart from the other actresses and make a lasting impression on the casting directors. With a mischievous glint in her eye, Jennifer dipped her finger into the dog food and brought it to her lips, licking it off with exaggerated relish. "It's so good, people can eat it too. Isn't that right, boy?" she said, addressing the golden retriever with a playful wink. The room erupted into laughter and applause. The director and the ad agency representatives loved Jennifer's improvisation and her willingness to take risks. They offered her the role on the spot, much to Jennifer's delight. A change of plans. The next day, Jennifer arrived on set feeling excited and eager to film her first commercial in years. She had practiced her lines and rehearsed her performance until it was perfect, and she was ready to show the world what she was made of. But as she glanced over the new script, her excitement turned to unease. The scene now called for her character to eat the entire can of dog food, not just a small taste. Jennifer's stomach churned at the thought. She hadn't signed up to be the butt of a joke. "Is this a joke?" Jennifer asked, her voice tinged with disbelief. The crew reassured her that it would be funny, that it would be a hit with audiences. They promised her that it would be worth it in the end. Reluctantly, Jennifer agreed to go along with the scene. As the cameras rolled and the crew looked on, she forced a smile and began to eat the dog food, trying to ignore the taste and texture that made her stomach turn. But as she struggled to swallow each mouthful, the crew's laughter grew louder and more raucous. They jeered and heckled, their comments cutting through Jennifer like a knife. Feeling humiliated and ashamed, Jennifer pushed through the scene, determined to see it through to the end. But as soon as the director called cut, she rushed off set, tears stinging her eyes. Alone in her dressing room, Jennifer wiped away her tears and took a deep breath. She knew she had made a mistake in agreeing to the scene, in allowing herself to be pushed into something she wasn't comfortable with. But as she reflected on the experience, she realized something important. She didn't need to compromise her dignity or her integrity for a role. She was Jennifer Love Hewitt, a talented actress with a bright future ahead of her, and she would never let anyone diminish her worth. Chapter 4. A Lesson Learned. In the days that followed, Jennifer found herself grappling with the aftermath of the commercial shoot. She couldn't shake the feeling of shame and embarrassment that lingered in the pit of her stomach, the sense of regret that gnawed at her soul. But amidst the turmoil, Jennifer also found a sense of clarity, a realization that she needed to stand up for herself and refuse to be treated as anything less than the talented and respected actress she was. With a renewed sense of determination, Jennifer reached out to her agent and expressed her concerns about the commercial shoot. She made it clear that she would not tolerate being subjected to ridicule and humiliation for the sake of a paycheck. To her relief, her agent understood and supported her decision. They assured her that they would be more selective in the future, only submitting her for projects that aligned with her values and respected her boundaries. As the weeks passed, Jennifer threw herself into her work, auditioning for new roles and exploring opportunities that spoke to her heart and soul. She refused to let one bad experience define her career, and she was determined to prove to herself and the world that she was capable of greatness. And though the road ahead was uncertain, Jennifer knew that she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, armed with a newfound sense of strength and self-assurance. She was Jennifer Love Hewitt, and she was destined for greatness. Jennifer looked at the caller ID. It read 2 words she never thought she'd see again. Party. Donkey. She picked up the phone with anger and bewilderment. She said, "For a donkey, you sure know how to make an ass of yourself."
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.